pray for me because I'm getting in revival mode. I'm getting ready to be gone 10 days and I can't hardly do nothing with myself. Every time I get in revival mode, it's hard for me to do it. I be wanting to break out. I be wanting to lose it. I be wanting to run and stuff. I just got to keep myself under control. Because after all, I don't know whether you know, but I just got an email from heaven for you. God been good to you too. You might not never admit it. You might not be appreciative of it. You might still be whining about what you're dealing with now, but God been good to you. Yes, He has. You know how I know He's been good to you? Because He's been good to me in spite of me. You hear what I'm saying? In spite of me. Okay, I'm ready. Go with me tonight. I'm going to try to get you out quick. Amen. Go with me tonight to Deuteronomy chapter number 8. Deuteronomy chapter number 8. I want to start around verse number 11 and I want to read to verse number 18. I have a point that I need to prove tonight. Something that God dealt with me about today. Y'all ain't going to even tell y'all where He dealt with me at because y'all won't believe it. Where He dealt with me at the foot of the bed. I like these people. That's my spot. I don't know. So it's like the foot of the cross. I mean, that's my spot. Everybody got their spot. My wife's spot is the bathroom. My spot is the foot of the right spot is her chair. You know, everybody got their spot. Let's go to verse number 11. And it says, beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God, in not keeping His commandments and His judgments and His statutes, which I commanded thee this day. Lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and had built goodly houses, and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and the silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart would be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy God, which have brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, who led you through the great and the terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions, and the drought where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna which the fathers knew of not, that He might humble thee, and that He might prove thee to do the good at thy latter end. And thou sayest in thine heart, my power and might of mine hath gotten me this wealth. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is He that hath given thee power to get wealth, that He may establish His covenant, which He sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day. I want to talk from a few scriptures tonight from the subject, I will never forget. Just look your neighbor right in the face and tell him, I will never forget. I will never forget. I believe that the writer of the book of Deuteronomy, which is one of the books of the Pentateuch, the 5 books that we know that Moses was the author of, that Moses was trying to say something to people in this hour pertaining to the goodness of God. Pertaining to the goodness of God, because many of us had not experienced what Moses and the children of Israel had experienced, but Moses had proven, he had seen what God was capable of doing. So he tries to encourage us here and let us know that God is going to bless us. Yeah. That's something that we don't have to struggle with. That God is going to bless us. He's going to provide for us. Those things are going to happen. He's going to bring us out of bondage. He's going to bring us out of some challenging situations. But the thing that Moses warns us about, he says something to this effect: beware. Now, I define the word beware, and it means to watch out for, or to be on guard against. He talks about watching out for or being on guard against this forgetful spirit. Now, this word forget means to overlook intentionally. It means to lose sight of, or memory of, or to omit. And the word omit means to leave something or someone out. And I began to really grab a hold to that. He warned the church never to forget the Lord. He talks about when we get fine homes and when we begin to multiply and when we begin to be blessed, that we would take the accreditation that really belongs to God and we begin to say what I've done rather than what God done. I'm really nervous about the church world because I'm convinced that many of us have cried out to the Lord and the Lord have heard our cry and he has delivered us and is delivering us and blessing us. But as soon as we get on our feet, we have a tendency to push God to the curb. We have a tendency to not have a need of him anymore after we get what we're after. After we get the thing we done cried out for, we don't necessarily seek him the way we used to. We don't necessarily read our Bibles the way we used to. We don't necessarily pray the way we used to because we've already obtained the thing that we were after. Can I talk like I feel tonight? We're living in a time when even the people who say that they love God are turning away from God. Because once they get what they ask for, they no longer feel like they have need of him anymore. And we even take the credit for the opportunities and the blessings that he has bestowed upon us. Pride enters into our heart and we begin to get the I syndrome. Can I talk about the I syndrome? This is it. I raised these children by myself. I finished college. I worked and paid these bills. I bought my own car and my own house. I got my own job. Nobody has done nothing for me. I had to do it by myself. And these statements we exclude. The undercover work of God. We know some of us wasn't as smart as we pretend to be because we've seen some of your dumb decisions. We realized that it was the favor of God working in the shadows of your life. He gave opportunities to you that you didn't deserve because Ecclesiastes says that chance and opportunity must happen to us all. But we never acknowledge him in the things that he has done. You might have worked the job, but who favored you to get the job? Who gave you good help to keep the job? Who gave you special favor to promote you on the job? These are the things that we overlook. These are the things that we omit, and we take God out of the things that we have attained or obtained in our lives. But Moses, he warns the people of God. He says, you need to understand that in 8 and 18, he says, it is God who gives us the power, the divine ability to get wealth. Wealth is more than money. Wealth is substance. Substance. It's God who gives us the special ability to get the substance. But many times we forget God when we're mentioning how we got the substance. And we begin to glorify ourselves and our achievements and all of these things. And we intentionally overlook, lose sight of, Forget about, omit God.